Oi, oi, we are back. We never run. I told you. And we'll always be back. Speaking facts. Yeah. You know, sometimes in life, one needs to understand that there is a need for facts, right? There is a need for reality, like the reality on the ground, right? Some people, they like to just, cover things with the butter, but underneath, they are just, rotten as hell, right? And it's not fair. Why? Because at the end of the day, no matter you like it or not, the truth will come out. The reality will come out. And that reality is what damages people's lives, right? Like you can see now with this guy from US called DDP, whatever they call him, whatever his name is, right? So you can see now, right? You can hear now they say this other one raped a child. Can you imagine those type of issues? The truth will always come out. Whether you sugarcoat it, right? Or you honey coat it, or you whatever creamy coat it. The truth will always come out at the end of the day, and it will suffice, right? And we will know the truth, and the truth shall do what? The truth shall set us free. Yeah. So anyway, we are back. Yeah. What are we on about? We are ranting, but ranting about real things, real occurrences, real happenings, things that inform the people. We are very informative, right? We might be sort of bringing about that type of element of playfulness. But in reality, what we are trying to do here is to make one not to forget the reality, right? To forget the information, the intel that we are putting about, right? And at the end of the day, if people are informed, it is easy to make the right decision. Unlike people who are really not well informed, like the EFF hooligans, the radical. They don't even know the definition of the term radical. It's a hooligans, whatever they call it, right? That's what they're doing. It's not radical what they're doing, right? They are hooligans at all. You look at it, it's not fact. You're not factual. Bring about fact. Put the facts down. At least, say there is the fact. You will see. Nobody will ever answer. Why? Because it's the reality. It's the facts, right? So, what are we on about today? Today, it's a topic for guys who are in mainly Johannesburg, right? I believe there is a need for this information. There is a need to understand what is what went wrong, what went right, and mainly about the infrastructure, right? What we call infrastructure development, infrastructure, which is existing, maintaining this infrastructure, making sure that everybody get where they are going. At the end of the day, you need to get home safe. At the end of the day, you need to get your services. So you need to get water, electricity. But you need to know who's responsible for this. Whom can you run after if these services are not, being provided, right? So yeah, infrastructure in Johannesburg. That's the topic for today. Why is it the topic for today? I believe somehow we need to know the truth, right? If the truth keep on being hidden and nobody is saying anything because people cannot do their jobs and sorts of things like those, it is not fair, right? People are getting paid every month with the money that you pay, like they say services. You pay money every month, and but at the end of the day, you cannot see those services. It does not make sense at all, right? So yeah, what happened post 94, right? Meaning to say after the elections, right? Mm, everything was handed over to the new dispensation of the new government of the ANC, and everything had to be aligned properly, right? But one should remember that everything that was there, it was done for a few, right? You have a situation where, like, mainly in the big cities, right, Johannesburg, Durban, Pretoria, Cape Town, PE, and stuff like that. Everything that was done there, it was to cater for the few. It wasn't for the whole masses of South Africa, right? And why? Because of the apartheid regime, wanted to have that demarcation system of, the Bantus and the what and the what and the what, right? The blankets, they call them, right? So now, what happened is that post 94, everything handed over to the ANC government. The ANC government had no clue whatsoever. And that's why we had that government of national unity, you can say, whatever it was, right, of the National Party plus the ANC. So you had the Klereko, Uom de Klerk, ne? Ons noem hom Uom, yeah. In Afrikaans, Otopi, ons noem hom Uom. It's a sort of respect, right? And it's a good one, right? So when they formed that, it was sort of a transition government in actual fact. It was for transition, a smooth transition, right? And yeah, it did its work. But the problematic aspect is that many departments were run by the ANC government, of which you could see these people have got no idea whatsoever. And I'll keep on talking about Mangope, the Bocha, right? Then these people assumed the government, they start ransacking the government, taking everything, It's a painful thing, right? It's a very, I can say, a bittersweet type of scenario, right? Where people just do whatever they want. They don't understand what is A, what is B. Yeah, some did understood, but a lot did not understand what they were supposed to do, right? And that's why now you see everywhere you go, the infrastructure is dilapidated. The infrastructure is not taken care of. Everything is just chaotic, right? And the reasoning being that these people, they did not understand what they are doing. So now we come to Johannesburg, right? Johannesburg is a city. That's why I say the focus today will be on Johannesburg. What do we have? Whom do we have? In Johannesburg, there are infrastructure which is owned by the national government, provincial government, and the municipality organizations, right? Under the national government, you have like roads which fall under mainly Sanral or stuff like that, right? You get the water lines or whatever stuff falling under rainwater, whatever. So now, under municipality, that's where the focus will be. Why? Because for me, to tell the truth, I do not even, because, I've engaged with these government entities, right? And, they will tell you there is a road, but that road, we don't know who owns it. There is a water line. We don't know who owns that water line. Whether is it the provincial, whether is it the municipal, whether is it the national. There is a lot of chaoticness. And now, my biggest question is, right? The national government gets the national government gets funding, right? Okay. The provincial government gets funding. Okay. The municipal government gets funding. What do they do with all these monies, to tell the truth? That's my biggest question, because they keep on getting monies each and every year, but we don't see anything that they are doing, right? Johannesburg run out of services. We lack services all the time. But where is the monies? The one that was given to provincial. Why don't the provincial government, come in, and there is that the art gallery in Johannesburg. Oh, I'm telling you, there are a lot of nice art there, which is, ransacked and, ran down and all those sort of stuff. And very expensive art for that matter. It could have just been sold if they don't want it. At least the money used or being put in the politicians' stomachs, right? So, okay, in Johannesburg, you have few entities, right? You have this city power, the electric guy. The guys who are providing us electricity, they are agents, actually, or they are the middleman. That's why we have to pay such big monies on electricity, because they buy that electricity from Eskom, then they sell it to us. Oh man, before it can get to us, it's already put on a lot of markups. You don't know what are those markups for. Just to make that guy of City Power have a big stomach like Mantashes. Right. So now we got JRA, Johannesburg Roads Agency, right? So those are the guys who are responsible for the roads, for the bridges, right? For the stormwater outlets and stuff like that, right? So they are the ones who are doing, like, if we can call them, bylaws or policies on roads, on how roads are supposed to be. And there is this fool there by JRA. He keep on, like, not approving designs because, yes, the requirement, if the road servitude is 13 meters, you need to have a pavement of 2 meters. See, man, there is this road here in Central. When I pass there, I see the road has got 1 meter. I said, oh, but the guy said it must be 2 meters. I said, you see, that's the problematic aspect. You got foolish people who are sitting there in the government. They don't know what they are doing. At the end of the day, they are costing a lot of money for the government, and services are not being rendered because nobody's got that much money to build a 2 meter sidewalk. For what? If you can manage a 1 meter, at least a person who's a paraplegic, they can be able to move through. That's the most important part. But, to build big for what? For who? Cease. But now you see here in Central, they're building a small instead of building big. You wonder, what is the problem with these morons, right? That's a guy from JRA. I forgot his name. I was going to mention his name here. I nearly said the wrong word. May God forgive me. Right. Okay. You got that JRA. You got the J Water, which is Johannesburg Water. Johannesburg Water guys are the guys who are providing us with water. And as well, they are still an agent or a middleman. Why? Because they get the water from rainwater, then they provide the people with water, right? So they are responsible for that, what we call drinking water, and what we call as well as grey water, right? Grey water is the water that goes into the storage system, right? So they are responsible for the storage, for the wastewater treatment works, right? Wastewater treatment plants, which, as I said last time, they are based, like, at that time, I think it was 15 or 5 kilometer radius, right? So throughout the city, right? So now, from J Water, you got pick it up. Those are the guys who are picking up your whatever, dirty laundries, the food that you are throwing away, which you could be helping other people with. We are all, whatever they say. We are doing illegal in terms of that. All of us, I blame myself as well. Sometimes when I throw food away, I feel bad. Why? Because, somebody else somewhere does not have that food. It's not a fair deal, right? It's definitely not the humanity. It's the inhumane, right? If you throw away food, just know you are wrong, right? You should be giving that food to somebody else, right, who cannot afford it, at least, right? It's just being human, right? So those are pick it up, right? We have these morons, city parks. If I get in the local government, these guys, they will be my first. These will be the first guys that I fire. Because come on, you go to center, right? That park's supposed to be representative, right, of what sentence stands for, right? You go to Zoo Lake, right? That park needs to be something, right? Out of, when you go there, man, they are unable to maintain these parks. They've got monies. And the biggest problem is that they're fighting one another, right? They're fighting each other. If you go there, like any other entity over the government says, hey, we want to revamp this park, then they start fighting them, right? So they've got a problem internally. And I say, this will be the first people that I fire. If I go into local government, I'm telling you, all of them, not even one will be left, all across board. Fire! 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 That's what I will do to these guys, right? Why? Because they are useless. Provide people with services. Do not, if you are fighting, fight one another somewhere in the pub or somewhere. But don't fight one another in an area where you are supposed to be providing people with services, right? The tender system there is flawed, it's worse, it's just bad, right? It needs to be revamped. And mainly, as I say, the whole team, you know, you fire all, even their chickens. Everything about them you fire. Their chickens, their cows, their goats, you fire. Right. So we got the environmental guys who are useless as well. Because come on, when I will say my grandfather came, no, not even my grandfather. My grandfather came here in Johannesburg. It was 1908 or 1910, somewhere around there, right? Can you imagine, man? There were no trees here. So what was happening to the environment? I do not understand. Or somebody can say, but then there was no cars, but there were donkeys which were pooing and camels which, or horses which were pooing all throughout. So that poo, man, it's hydrochloric, is it hydrochloric acid or what? I don't know. But what comes out of the poo is something very smelly. So what was happening to the people? Were they dying because of that? Come on, seriously. This environmental nonsense is flawed. I'm telling you. It's just these morons who are stopping everything to happen properly, right? Look, if I take over the government, these environmental guys, I'll throw them in the toilet, all of them. I'm telling you, this stupid, can you imagine, just to get an EIA approved, a short one is 6 months. Right? The longest one, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. What happens to those funds? Somebody's looting the funds. Well, some stupid is still talking about the environment. Which environment are you talking about? Which environment are you referring to when you say environment this, environment that? You hate the environment. Worst of all, you are sitting in a nice house, you got a nice electricity, but you don't want other people to have electricity. It just does not make... Me, I say, these environmental guys, man, they will have to prove what they're talking about. If they can't prove it, it does not exist. It's as simple as that, right? Unless if they prove it, it says, yes, there. But what environmental talking about, you cannot see it. It's not visible at all. Huh? I mean, these people are useless. Look at all this world, whatever. They are living large, but they tell you, yeah, close your power stations. Do not lose coal after a few days. They say, sell us your coal cheaply, and you do so. Why? Because you are a stupid, like this big nose guy. Sis, man, come on. Anyway, there is organizations like DID, Department of Infrastructure Development or something like that, right? Those are the ones which are beefing up. But that, I think it falls under the national government, right? It's sort of like JDA, Johannesburg Development Agency. So that one's probably like under the Johannesburg municipality. So it's like ramping up the infrastructure development throughout the city. Those are guys who know what they are doing. They're trying their level best, right? You got the Department of Housing. I think one project that I knew, it was those ones of New Town, right? The revampment of New Town. So it was like what was happening there, right? Is something nice, right? Something that was helping that place to look better. But though the aesthetic is just nonsensical, but anyway, they are trying the level best for people to have residential properties, right? Even though they hire them, they don't sell them, as I remember, right? So, right. So now, okay, what does JRA do? Or let's start with City Power. City Power, these are the guys who are providing you with electricity. These are the guys that you run to, you fight with when you want your electricity to, you know, be properly supplied, right? You pay a lot of money monthly, whether it be this prepaid or the main original whatever in-house connections. So they provide you with that electricity. They make the city to shine in the night. They, you know, make sure that at least we have power, right? Power supply. But though they are independent guys, like I think the Kelvin Power Station, which provide independent power to Ekurhuleni, to Johannesburg. So there are those guys who are providing independent. And now, because of this stupid renewable solar, you know, I do not understand these environmental things. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a thing of morons. I am from my own perspective, right? So now, those are the guys who are providing electricity. Then you have JRA. Those are the stupid guys who always they are lying under the if you drive and you just find people sitting under the tree, even though they are not wearing uniform, those are JRA guys, right? When the roads are having potholes and stuff like that, those are the JRA guys. Like this Kenny Kunene, I think is head of whatever roads or transport, right? Anyway, he's trying because he revamped that asphalt plant, which was dormant for years for whatever reasons, right? So at least you have potholes being patched or not even being patched. They just take that asphalt and put in there and stamp it and go. Right? Tomorrow come out again. Unlike these Discovery guys. You see how private companies are supposed to be helping. These Discovery guys, you see them, they go with a taxi, nice, beautiful taxi. They get there, they put signs, they, you know, top notch, right? This is what private companies are supposed to be doing. Why don't Coca-Cola do that? Why don't SAB do that? Why don't, you know, this APSA do that? Why Discovery? Discovery is a new baby, but they are able to can do those type of things. This is what is happening in the Western Cape, in mainly Cape Town. The private companies are doing that by themselves, making that place to look beautiful. They're building big, they're making that place to look nice. At the end of the day, you think the DA is doing better, of which no, it's the private entities, right? The government cannot do it all. And mostly when you have stupid people in the government, come on. You see? So at the end of the day, you need people who are well thinkers, right? So now, you have Johannesburg Water, which is providing waters, but the problem with Johannesburg Water is the system is old, dilapidated. Also with the JRA, the bridges are old. I remember we did one revamp on one bridge. I think it was built in 1940 or 44, somewhere around there. Can you imagine how many years does that bridge have? Right? So though it was a while ago, but can you imagine those type of things? Many of the bridges were done years, right? So now to have them to be revamped, these guys, they do not maintain this infrastructure. And what happens then at the end of the day, this infrastructure becomes dilapidated. Instead of just, you know, maintaining this infrastructure so that you do not spend too much money on what? On renewing or on making new or on making a new thing, right? Doing new stuff is very expensive, but ramp projects, at least they try to fix, even though they will be a little bit costly, but they will save you a lot of money at the end of the day, right? So these guys are not doing their job at all. Somebody's sleeping on the job and nobody's saying anything about it. Everybody's keeping quiet. While at the end of the day, it's not the matter of no monies, it's a lie. It's a matter of people who are working in there. They are useless, they don't do proper plan. Even if you advise them, instead of them doing a long-term plan, they don't do that. Or if they have a long-term plan, they don't follow it. It's a big problem that I say, if we go into the local government, we come in top, look, these people, they are to be fired. I'm telling you. I'm not even going to be looking and laughing with them and playing with them. I just fire them. I fire with all, even their donkeys. Right. So J Water, we told them, I think 20 years ago, they've done nothing about their system. The system is still bad as, West. It's even worse now, right? So now, you got pick it up, they're trying, but their landfills are packed up. Man, all these departments have got one or two or three issues that are pending, are not being solved, and maybe they are trying, and you can see this issue of the AXA. AXA, we came to know it as one of the best performing entity of the government, or SEOs, or whatever you can call it, right? But now look, they don't even have a bypass line. Does not make sense. You're gonna blame COVID, or you're gonna blame the environment, because environmental anyway, it's a big issue. As I said, you see the environment, those people are useless. Useless more than the word useless means. Right. So now, you got city parks. These people are very... Why is everybody useless? That's why I'm saying, if we come into the government, these people are to be fired, not even to be negotiated with, because they are useless. They do not know what they are doing. And even if they know, they are scared. What are they scared of? They went in those departments illegally. They went in illegal. Now they have to kill somebody in order for these JRA or Johannesburg Water to fix that leaking pipe. Oh, it's a painful thing. Yeah, using evil stuff, they will always run after you. Yeah, you need to know that, right? Yeah. So you got JMPD. We know those are the guys who gives you a ticket, or they require Jojo. If you don't pay the Jojo, then you are in a big trouble, right? So anyway, yeah, that's more or less. I think I don't want to make the video too long, right? More or less what is happening in the Johannesburg Metro as far as infrastructure development is concerned, right? I'll do more research in terms of what budget they normally will have, these guys. But as far as I'm saying, right, the budget, it depends on the plan and how you are executing that plan, right? And if you don't tell the whatever provincial or the national government that you are looking for this, then from there, what do you expect those guys to do? To know that you are looking for money doesn't work in that way. But at least if you provide a plan and tomorrow you say, look, we've provided this plan to the national government, we have not get this funding due to 1, 2, 3 reasons, and this is the issues, that is the issue. At least the people, you put people in your confidence. But as far as things are concerned now, there's nothing happening. These people are useless. They keep on mentioning big monies. Yeah, we need 68 billion. Jesus Christ. We need 100 and something billion. Man, come on. Why don't you start small? Have phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Fix whatever you can. Don't be, look, we need... Seriously, doesn't make sense. But anyway, we'll have part 2 on this, so I'll explain more so that at least the people know what is happening, right? No matter these morals, they don't come in and explain this because they don't know, right? So me, I've got a little bit of intel in this. I'll explain a little bit I have. And anybody who has got more intel, let's explain to the people so that the people understand what is happening, right? So, I'll see you on the next video. Not this citizens' consent. Beware of the comrades. Hong Kong nonsense English. Talk sense to the people. Let the people understand what is wrong and what is right. There's no way that one person can always be right. Doesn't make sense, right? You get to be right and you get to be wrong. You must speak about the wrongs so that you can fix those wrongs. It's not because I'm speaking about Malema, it's because I hate him. No. I want him to fix the wrongs. If he doesn't, then it's his problem. That's why he'll keep on losing. But if he does, maybe people will say, let's give this person a second chance. You see? That's how life is, right? See you on the next video.